muscle-bound cop in the ladies' wig and the bad-fitting baseball cap. See him driving around the city, running over bad guys in his Chevrolet piece of crap. On loan from San Diego, don't know why they call him Samurai. His name is Joe, but he doesn't fit the profile for a samurai. He doesn't even have a sword. Samurai Cop. He's telling these son of a bitches he respects the Japanese of this country. He's gonna turn him into fertilizer while he's making time with the gang boss's lady. Samurai Cop. At the cop shop flirting with the lady cop and every other woman in the place, 'cause he can't stop. Now he's hitting on a nurse and he tells her he's surprised 'cause his Johnson's jumbo jet size. His captain really hates him. Surprise. He prays that he will die. So do we. He's killed at least a dozen people, but that doesn't seem to bother him at all. Samurai Cop. The evil drug lord wants to see his head on his piano, but I don't think that's very practical. He's got a white piano, and to put a bloody head on a white piano's kinda tacky. He's making dinner for his new girlfriend, wearing nothing but a little black banana hammock. They're gonna make sweet love, and it makes you kind of feel like you'd rather see anything else. Now comes the final battle against the big chin guy. His wig is gone again, but suddenly his wig is back, and then his wig is gone. Samurai Cop. And now they drop their swords and they go back to punching 'cause they're not very good with swords. Then the bad guy dies and you realize they didn't apprehend a single criminal. At the end he's back in his banana hammock. Tell me, is this any way to end the film?
Well, hello there, Twitchsters. It's Bill Corbett here. That was, of course, the theme song to our live show of Samurai Cop, entirely by Kevin Murphy. Every voice you heard on that was Kevin's. I think it is a certifiable banger of a song, and I'm very proud to be associated with it and yet have done nothing. Speaking of Kevin, I would like to introduce Kevin Murphy, my longtime colleague. Please pop up visibly on screen. Hello, Kevin.
Well, hello, Bill. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. What is that hat you have there?
This is my Savannah Bananas hat. I've never seen the team, but I love following them online and seeing their antics as a baseball team. I consider them to be the Harlem Globetrotters of minor league baseball.
I thought you were making it funny. The Globetrotters.
The Globetrotters.
You look like you're ready to, you look like you've become a certifiable parrot head with that hat and that shirt right now.
Well, considering
you haven't gone parrot head, Kevin.
One of the things we're going to talk about is our upcoming RiffTrax Live Point Break show, and this I thought was an appropriate,
for sure,
spooky shirt for it. And
let's get our pals on screen here. Conor Lostoka and Sean Thomason, come on in. Hey guys.
Well, this is a stunning coincidence.
Conor,
going around town wearing my favorite Globetrotters hat, and I've been usurped.
Indeed.
Sean,
so embarrassing at
you
the gala
and I missed the memo about baseball hat day here.
Well, my hatred of whimsy and bananas is well known, so hard against the Savannah
Just
banana.
the worst stuff.
Is a dedicated banana hater.
It's true.
Kevin, do you want to just talk about the stuff we have coming up this very week, please.
Sure. If you guys had shut up for a minute. I'm kidding, of course. That's it. Connor's leaving.
I renounced my fandom.
Folks, it just so happens that coming up very soon, our RiffTrax Live Point Break show is going to be streamed to over 700 theaters nationwide. And we're working on Canada, but not yet. But we'll see. But
we've been working on
to see
Canada a long
RiffTrax
time.
Live Point Break, August 8th and August 13th. Those of you who have never seen Point Break before, you're either infants or you've been under a rock all your life. Patrick Swayze,
Maybe both.
Keanu Reeves, Gary Busey. It's the best surf robbing film of the 90s, I would say. Wouldn't you guys?
Oh, absolutely.
So tickets are available. You can go to rifftrax.com and follow the link to Fathom Events.
That's all, folks.
Fathom Events, and get all the information. And it should be playing at a theater near you, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. This is this Thursday, in case you're not good with actual dates. We're talking this week in merely 3 days.
That's
and
right.
then again next Tuesday. And yeah, it is all over the place. So go to rifftrax.com. I think we'll have the info. I think we have the information. Like we're not
It's buried
shy
in the FAQs
about selling
somewhere.
our
There's a
stuff.
little thing at the bottom of the screen says all the information you need.
Yeah.
It's at
Okay.
rifftrax.com.
And also,
Right.
it's having sat through it already and seen it. It's one of our best live shows I think that's ever happened. You guys were on point. Nobody took mushrooms till after the show, so there was no spacing out on stage. It was, a great, many laughs. It's a great movie, so you should really go check it out.
No, I switched to cocaine and really
That was it.
I brought the A game.
Cocaine difference.
Plus,
like
we have a
8
brand new
minutes,
song
like-
at the end that features Mike Nelson and Bill Corbett rapping.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, and Kevin has a new song and it is great. And he gave us the rap section, which is just great to see, over middle-aged white guys rap because
You guys
won't
killed
see
it. You absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, it was fun. Let's take some questions. Who picked a question here?
Have the people put in questions yet? Give us
Yeah.
your questions, people.
Please
Oh,
put
yeah.
some
Okay.
comments
With your
in the
questions.
comments. We love the celebration. I love all the people who pointed out Savannah Banana Hammock, connecting it back to the song.
Very good, folks. Very good. It's all coming together, man. If you have any questions, we'll do our best. We're looking in comments.
Yes, are seeing a lot of comments. If you could turn those comments into questions, it would make our job a lot easier.
Here's a question
Yeah, go ahead.
from Shaw3SP. Whomst are going skydiving for this? Interesting phrasing, but actually skydiving did come up. Kevin?
Well, I had said that if we reached a certain level in our Kickstarter, that I would jump out of a plane with a professional skydiver strapped to my back.
Just,
We
snugged
didn't
up
reach
right
that
in there
point.
in the crack of your... Go ahead.
Right, sitting up there real nice, like. So we didn't get to that level. So unfortunately, and I'm very sad about this, that I didn't get to jump out of an airplane with a guy strapped to my back. But my knees thank me. Because if you watch Point Break, Keanu's got a bad knee, and it's sort of that, it's like his fatal flaw. He keeps landing on his bad knee.
Whenever they need him to stop chasing Bodhi, it just activates. It's a great little MacGuffin of a plot point.
It's true.
From back when he was at The Ohio State University, right? Wasn't that
The
what
Ohio
it
State,
Ohio State. That's right.
Yeah, Kevin, if we want to put that in the Kickstarter or whatever we do next year as some kind of a challenge, I'll go with you. I'm telling you right now, Twitch.
Okay.
We can make this happen, but you gotta pay up.
There we go. Yeah. Well,
old guys jumping out of planes. What's better than that?
George Herbert Walker Bush jumped out of a plane on his 90th birthday, I believe. So if
he
can
died
do it
too,
and now he's dead.
He did eventually. Well,
maybe
we all do eventually, but the jump hopefully didn't kill him.
How about this question from Hodor0817 in the spirit of the Paris Olympics? Will you guys reopen Soup Plantation? We miss it each time Spiker plays. Any of you guys ever actually go to Soup Plantation?
I started a couple of times when we went when we were when I was traveling to San Diego when we were recording there, when Mike lived there for a while, and there was a soup plantation in Del Mar where we were staying, and I went a couple of times, and I didn't think their soup was very good.
Yeah, as
Frankly.
I recall, this like not many soups either, like 4 soups. It was mostly salads.
I mean, they branded themselves with the antebellum Confederacy, and yet they didn't deliver on the promise.
And now they're dead too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm remembering I was confusing it with their Bill, you'll remember this. There was a similar buffet in Edina, Minnesota called Cucumbers.
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
I got
the
food
name
poisoning.
alone
Yes.
was kind of off-putting.
I got food poisoning there. I just wanted to let everybody know there.
I'll tell you, here's a good question. It is from Corbin Country Jr. How was Golden Corral, Kevin? I mean, this might be an asked and answered thing for ours, but
it was brief. I'll say it was a really fun experience to go there with you guys and just to sit through the thing that we had, just wailed on for so long without ever having been there, any of us. And then when we finally got there, I think we all agreed that it was far worse than we ever expected it to be.
Yeah, it was a joke at first, but it became serious in the middle. It was kind of gross.
It was amazing because there was things where a guy would just like vomit blood, and we'd say Golden Corral's new slogan. So for it to top that is a.
Does anybody remember of you guys the first Golden Corral joke we did? I think I know what it is.
Wow.
I think I know what it is too. But
Conor, what is it?
Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, I think it was the original Planet of the Apes, where the guy who plays Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter says, "Don't you know food when you see it?" to Caesar.
That's right.
That was I think that is the first.
After shoveling absolute slop through his
just
food
garbage from a pail.
Slop was a term that got thrown around a lot in the aftermath of it, I think.
All right, now I have a question to read for Sean and Conor from B Diddy 430. Sean and Conor, have you ever thought about riffing a video game like a terrible 90s FMV one? Whoa. It would seem like a nice companion to your legendary internet short.
Legendary, that's very nice.
Speaking of 90s FMV, we found something along those lines that we were supposed to do in Minneapolis, but Sean was unable to make it. So hopefully soon, but we have something that's very 90s FMV. It's not like, Sewer Surfer or Night Trap, but it is... Without ruining it, it's along those lines. Am I right, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know either of those games you just mentioned.
The Sega CD, like the Sega CD attachment.
That's what it looks like. It is it is totally in that wheelhouse. It is the purest of uncut 90s cutting edge graphics. You're with some celebrity guest stars in it. When we found this thing, it was like a no-brainer. This is Guide to the Internet Part 2 coming your way as soon as possible.
Yeah. Does that one have the kid at the internet going like?
Oh no, I don't know what that's from, but it's that. It is that pretty much.
There is a blonde kid who looks like that kid. Also.
Seems like the same era.
Yeah, it was like every kid and everything back then looked a little bit like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. It was required.
That kid was actually in a Faces of Death 2, I think, was where that one came from.
Oh, God.
And it does involve a Commodore Amiga. I think you can tell people that much.
Right. Yeah. So it's got the Time Chasers connection, too.
That's right.
Always useful. I just want to share a little comment by Undead One. Sean and Conor are fantastic writers. Thanks.
Thank you. Wow.
I'm not sure I necessarily agree, but I appreciate the sentiment. No, of course
it goes against what you were saying before we logged on.
Thank you for reading the comment that I put in the chat.
Here's one. Ash's dad. Would you ever do a Deep Blue Sea riff? And I'd say I'm trying to remember that film, and is that one of the ones that's like a submarine film? Anybody remember?
It's a big shark eats LL Cool J.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Maybe. Yeah.
Glass. Betty White might have been in it, or maybe
that was Lake Placid, which I think came out the same week. They had a Prefontaine thing going with these mid '90s big Predator movies.
Prefontaine, maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of films like that I think we'd love to do, but oddly enough, obtaining the rights to some of these sort of not very good, but well produced, especially 80s and 90s films. They're very ridiculously expensive. So it's difficult for us to do those.
Yeah, it's often either a studio or some weirdo who holds the title and is fiercely protective of it and expects that, the opening bid will be $5 million or something. It's like, no.
Well, case in point, one of our Kickstarter rewards from this year is the Sylvester Stallone movie Over the Top, which we'll be releasing as an MP3, just the jokes, which you can sync up with our RiffTrax app, which works very well. But we couldn't afford the rights to that film just to do it as our own release if we wanted to.
We did get away with it at. We got away with it at Sketchfest.
Yeah,
somehow.
we actually we got the Sketchfest secured a one-night license.
Yeah.
For us to exhibit it.
Really early in our time there.
Yeah. We flew under the radar on that too.
Don't tell the FBI about this.
Yeah, it was weird that there was just guys who owned these movies.
Yeah,
it's like someone on Facebook Marketplace is like, I've got 90s X-Men comics. I know what I've got. I want $10,000 for them.
Right. I own the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That'll cost.
Yeah, you have that, or you have people claiming they own it,
$200.
which we've also encountered before. So
that's right.
Ooh, here's a good question from Steve Boer, Boer, from the famous Boer War. How do you guys decide who says each joke?
Arm wrestling, double elimination.
Yeah, it's a tournament.
No answers. Okay.
Well, I mean, so you can't you got to space them out, and I feel like at some point in time. You sort of get into a rhythm of just going side by side, alternating. But then there's people who have just, different types of deliveries or different impressions. Kevin has his melodious singing voice. Bill has, a level of rage that can rivaled only by Bob Odenkirk, some say. And Mike does Nick
Nolte.
Nolte.
Our show together at Sketchfest. Right. People were saying, who will out yell the other one? Like, and Mike and dysfunctional guys from Chicago and Brooklyn, respectively.
Mike and Bill have their famous exchange, Magneto, Cerebro.
We got to bring that back. It's been a while.
I love that.
And as somebody points out here, Going Fest, Enigma, and Mike does a God Nick Nolte. I think you mean good, but I will say God. Yeah, he does an amazing Nick Nolte, but it costs him every time. It's just like, I do have a little bit of an answer for that. I mean, it's the same one. Mostly it's like a round robin. You just want to make sure that everybody is just kind of like heard equally, but also getting a little rest between lines so we can look ahead. But yeah, there's stuff that I only trust like Kevin to handle vocally for a song. I think we're all pretty good singers, but Kevin is like in another stratosphere. I like to do rageful characters, but also a feat Englishman. It's a weird, range I have. And yeah, Mike he's so good at deadpan. My God, it's like if you want that underplaying, he's always been, as well as being like a really good mimic. So
yeah. And just to compliment you guys, it's like I never have to worry when we're writing stuff that you won't be able to do it. It's like, oh, okay, someone will do this cartoon voice, someone can sing. It's never like, can he do Yosemite Sam while he's underwater in a submarine and fighting? He can do that. And then
we got to step that up then.
Challenge.
Yeah, that's like throwing prompts at an AI generator.
An interesting question, sort of a local angle. Ed Huyck, Huyck.
Oh, I know Ed.
Have you thought about riffing the most Minnesotan of Minnesota movies, Purple Rain?
Boy, I think we'd be in danger if we did that from Prince fans.
Yeah, talk about weird guys who own the rights.
I live very close to Paisley Park. Like I pass by it when I go to get our dog at daycare. And so they can get to me if they don't like what I do.
It's also one of those things, since the movie is primarily music or performances, that is very difficult for us to Riff for an extended period of time. I mean, there was Miami Connection, which had a lot of music in it, and we found a way around it because, frankly, they weren't that very good. They weren't what you call a good band.
The Incredibly Strange Creatures, Kevin,
God.
back in the MST3K days had a lot of music, but we just made up new lyrics. I think we could do Purple Rain. I'm not sure it would be a great use of our time. For comedy. It's sort of like somewhere between weird and classic and funny and not a very good movie. So we'd be challenged. I don't know.
Maybe there's a way we can do it like It's a Wonderful Life, where if we just show all the scenes, cut all the scenes with Prince in them, we can do the rest of the movie that are in there. How about this one from Buoyant Boulder? He wants to know, what would your baseball walk-up music be?
Oh.
Anybody got a?
I think the music from the beginning of the Abominable Dr. Phibes, when Vincent Price is on the organ.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I was thinking of the Three Stooges theme. That would be a very good one.
That version of it would play over the speaker, I think, and then that would strike fear into
uncanny, Kevin.
Part of the Banana Ball crowd.
I would go with "Loser" by Beck, just to set expectations. I'm not very
perfect.
There's a really good steel drum cover of PIMP by 50 Cent that would, I think.
Oh yeah, it was in that movie. There was a nominated for the Academy Award. It was an integral part of it.
Oh,
somebody remind me in chat. I'm sure some of you will know.
Yes. And then ask us if we're ever going to riff it. And that's the.
It's a good movie, actually. Whatever its name.
Saga SWP asked, why haven't, I mean, this is a question we've been getting since I've started working at the company. Why haven't you ever riffed the original Dune? I know you guys have seen it and seen how riffable it is. I don't know. I mean, as again, it would have to be an MP3. It's long. It's actually, but it's nowhere near as long as the new Dune movie. And it's got Sting in a little diaper.
Boy, does it ever. And it has Baron von Harkonnen as an old New York actor named Kenneth McMillan. He used to play like drunk Irish cops most of the time. And somehow, it's just perfect in that role. Full of boils.
And he knows how to spit, man. Let me tell you.
Ooh. I don't really know why we haven't done it. I suspect it's in that same zone Kevin was talking about. Like 80s movies can be in this weird thing. We have tried this at times. We thought like, this is a movie. It's an MP3. People love it. They've requested it. It's sure to be a big seller. And then flatteroo.
It's perhaps more possible these days because we're an old enough organization here that we used to have to count on people being able to rent them at Blockbuster as a DVD. So now that a lot of things are able to be streamed. We kind of look, we look first for things that are more affordable for people, like Netflix. You're not having to pay, for a single screening of the thing. And I don't know where Dune falls in that category, but it may be more possible now to do things like that. And again, with the RiffTrax app, which works uncannily well, you can sometimes, I found myself doing this. You'll see a movie that's on. I'm about to go to bed. A movie pops on and say, hey, I wonder if this is in our library because it was one that we riffed. Sure enough, it's in the RiffTrax streaming library and you can just click on it. It syncs up in about 15 seconds and off you go.
Even I've used it and I can't use most things without making them like explode. So it works. Thank you, Greg Kettinger. The movie we're talking about with the PIMP cover is Anatomy of a Fall.
Meaning to see that.
It's real good. Mudmore asks, Mudmor, can you riff Koyaanisqatsi?
Brother.
Have you, Sean and Conor, have you ever seen Koyaanisqatsi?
I've never actually seen it.
Yeah, it was it was all the rage for a while. When would you say, Kevin? Early 90s?
I want to say, early 90s. I was living in San Diego at the time. Actually, I think it was 80s, like
Oh, wow.
early 80s. Yeah.
There was
It was a trippy photo collage film by a fellow named Godfrey Reggio, using the music of Philip Glass from a piece that he did called Koyaanisqatsi.
It had that
It's
really
sort of about
low
life out of
chant.
balance is the other title for it. And I believe that Koyaanisqatsi is a Hopi word, if I remember right.
I believe you're correct.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. It's only 86 minutes long.
Yeah.
All this time I thought it was a 4-hour thing, but I guess I was just confused by the length of the name.
Well, it's one single piece of music, and it's truly a photo collage, and it's really sort of like oddly enough, that long ago, it's about the over technologizing of our culture and
those simple rooms.
Yes.
There was like a poor man's version of it called Baraka that was a go-to choice for us in college. That
I remember.
You'd you'd turn off the music of that and put your like CD changer on random and see like what would sync up with it, man. Like that was that was like,
was it?
What are we doing tonight?
About
Let's do that again.
Mr. T's character in the A-Team?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's Barakas. Never mind.
Oh, why?
Yeah, that was the time when people were also syncing up, what is it, Black Magic Woman with the chase scene from the French Connection.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
There's one Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz.
I thought they all involved Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
If you're high
enough, fun to do if you take a lot of drugs. Otherwise, I'm
not going to watch Baraka again. That's
I think we would wind up just sort of having to make jokes out of whole cloth to some degree, and it would get very chatty and probably not our best work. Probably not that funny.
Here's a question from Basil Rogers. Why do you not riff cartoons in the public domain as often? I think it's just because cartoons are a little harder to riff than live action things. And they tend to, a lot of times, if they're successful, they're funny. If they're not, they're trying to be funny and they're not, which is just as difficult for us to do.
I think when we have found things from like the 1930s that are just weird, those are my favorite cartoons. And we have done some. You can find them mostly in our shorts. Oh, exclusively in our shorts. We haven't
Steamboat Willie, in fact, too.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
But
we jumped on that bandwagon right away.
Right.
We didn't have it out day one, though. We should have thought ahead
did.
more. It was like day 10 or something.
Yeah.
There were like 4 Steamboat Willie horror movies before we released our version of it.
Okay, never mind.
What those 30s cartoons that aren't Steamboat Willie, they're all like a little object comes to life and goes into a room with a bunch of other little objects. It's like all they could think to animate at the time was like, what if the pencils could wiggle and scream? And there's a racially insensitive thing in the background.
Yeah, those are like Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Like, where? Oh, there it is.
Just like,
Yeah.
I want to read. Riff W. Santos asks, "Will GrimTrax be a seasonal thing?"
Every
I think that is to be determined right now. We were very, very pleased with the reaction to it. The thing that made it work a little bit for us is it was sort of like accumulated stuff that we had already worked on over the years or had begun to work on, and then we tapped out when we thought it was a little much. But I don't know. We run into enough stuff that it might accumulate pretty quickly. And
we have one recorded right now
recently?
that we're waiting for.
Yeah, that's right.
We have one about a couple. We have one right now that we're sitting on in case we
have
GrimTrax.
Yeah.
A couple. They're like a young David and Hazel, like arguing about.
Oh God, yes,
spectacular.
I think we can tell our beloved Twitch streamers that one involves young Anson Williams from TV's Happy Days, aka Potsy, before he got that part, and it's going to be a GrimTrax. So wait till you see Potsy suffer.
Yeah, I feel like with the GrimTrax, it's like a you know it when you see it thing. We'll be working on something. We're like, oh man, this is how does this end? Oh,
taking a turn for the dark here.
Usually, if I'm like being like, this is incredible, people will be like, all right, this is a bad sign.
It's fun though because it does. I don't know. It puts our minds at ease a little bit too. That like, well, everybody knows what we're getting into here. Like, do not invite your 7-year-old kid to watch it. Probably, I don't know, unless they're weird like
Maybe they hate
My
Potsy and they want to see
children
him suffer.
They love ring avulsion injuries. That's what most 7-year-olds are into these days. They've moved on from Roblox.
Anyone
right.
got a question? Tee it up.
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh.
Are there plans for Jonathan Atema? Are there plans for more physical media? If MST taught fans anything, it's that we should buy DVDs as soon as they're available. I do believe we do have, we will always have something around, and I believe that there will eventually be a Point Break DVD. I'm not sure about that, but
there is. You might have had to already buy it, but there's
an
incredibly exciting physical media coming out by the end of the year, Kevin.
Oh yes,
the vinyl of your record
Cheap
of all your
tunes.
RiffTrax live songs.
That's right, and it's beautiful artwork on it. It's going to be a fun LP. It's going to be a collectible, so don't take it out of the bag and play it.
Don't enjoy it. Don't enjoy it.
It's
Look
just
at
dogs barking jingle bells if you actually take it out and play it. It's you got to make it.
And we didn't pay for the rights for that. We're going to get sued.
Wow, what a bad stunt.
I'm not sure how much time we have left, but maybe we could just take a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Anything that's not about will you riff this movie?
Okay.
I know it could be difficult to answer, but high level, what are your favorite movies? Corbin County Jr. asks.
Okay.
That's.
Do you mean like? Maybe we need a little more. Do you mean like of RiffTrax movies or?
I was thinking it's movies you actually like.
Oh well, for me it's always The Third Man. That's just I can watch that again and again. I'm very sophisticated.
Yeah, that's a wonderful film. Love to see it. Oh, yeah, I've seen it many times myself. Sean?
I picked the question, but I'm not sure if I have an answer. I saw Jaws in the theater for the first time this summer, and it's hard not to love Jaws. Every time.
It's
wow,
wonderful.
really?
It's funny. I mean, I had seen it a zillion times, but I'd never seen it in a theater. And it's just like here's the crowd reacts to every like funny little thing. Like the first time you see Quint, and I don't know. It's got it all. The only unfortunate thing is that it launched the blockbuster culture that has ruined movies forever. But it was great, and I'm sure in 19.
We all have our faults.
Yeah, blame Marvel for that more than Jaws.
Oh yeah.
No, if they were half as good as Jaws, still with just like actually having characters, actually moving a story along. I don't know. Go back to Jaws, everybody. Watch Jaws again and study it, and not the shark part. Everybody copies the shark part. They think that was the good part. It's the whole movie is.
They need the Robert Shaw part. He was the real shark in that movie.
Well, we here in my house we have a projection screen and a big screen, and we screen films outside during the summer, and I tend to go to that as my go. Like maybe not my favorite movie, but one I really enjoy watching. One of those would be The Princess Bride. It's just it holds up. It's incredibly funny. It's very well done. Another
Nicely
one
weird too. It's eccentric in a way that's
quite eccentric,
really fun.
And another one, probably my favorite comedy. One of them is Scottish film Bill Forsyth, Local Hero. I've said that before. It's,
yeah.
It's a very quirky film, and I think it started that sort of yank fish out of water going to another town.
Yeah.
That whole genre. They like. What was the one that was based in Alaska that was a TV series for
Northern Exposure?
Northern Exposure. I think was kind of at least inspired by Local Hero.
Local Hero has one of Burt Lancaster's final performances, I think. And
Burt Lancaster,
Peter
Riegert,
and Peter Capaldi.
As a very young man.
Very young Peter Capaldi.
Yes.
It's a spindly little guy.
Not fully raged out yet like he was for
right.
In the loop.
I've rewatched a couple of them recently, but mine are like, they skew basic, I guess. If you look at me, you'd probably be like, you don't need me to tell you that Repo Man and Big Lebowski are two of my favorites, but they are. And they hold up, and there's always something that you like will notice or enjoy for the first time that you didn't remember from the last time. As quoted and as like memed as they are, I think there's always something there because they're just so well done.
Yeah, Harry Dean Stanton in Repo Man. Anything he's in, he's just so great. I saw Alien again recently, and it's like, God, I just want more of Harry Dean Stanton and everything.
Yeah.
Conor, you said that looking at you, that would be the guesses. What are the characteristics of you that you think would make somebody believe that.
Oh, a dude in his 40s?
Yeah.
I don't know.
think you
What
nailed
else do
it.
you need? Got baseball
Yeah.
hats on the wall? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There's one that went by quickly, and I regret that I cannot say who asked it. But what is maybe we can end on this. What is your favorite RiffTrax? And I know it's hard to nail one, but what is one of your favorites?
Right off the top of my head, the first thing that pops up is ICB. Either version of ICB.
Wow.
For those of us who are not
Thumbelina.
RiffTrax,
Thumbelina or Jack and the Beanstalk?
the ice cream.
Jack and the
guy.
Beanstalk. Either one. Love
I
them both.
regret that I launched that atrocity of a sound on the world after our live show when we recorded it last weekend. After the party, Virginia and I were going home, and these two drunk young ladies on the street had seen the show, and they said, "Can we get a picture?" And then they started doing the ice cream bunny laugh while flanking me, and I was like, "Oh God, what have I wrought? This is good karma. I'm getting it in both ears."
They're typing it in the chat right now.
Oh God!
They're typing.
Oh, God.
Okay.
We don't even
I'd
know
like
what
to
that
end it
movie
on
is.
this one comment by Kairu Hakubi. Haha, bozo. That's his comment. So I think we all agree. Haha, bozo.
I can't argue with that. I don't.
I'm sure that was one of those ones that came in where he paid $20 to say that. That would have been well worth it, I think.
I don't know.
Well, Kevin, Sean,
Bill?
Connor, shall we just plug our live shows one more time this Thursday across the nation? Go to rifftrax.com to find where. All you got to do, you'll be redirected to Fathom Events, where you can go directly there if you want. It's up to you. You just type in your zip code and you'll find the nearest theaters. It might surprise you. It might be right behind you at this moment, that theater. So Thursday and then again Tuesday, Point Break. And we think it's a great show. I was so pleased. I was a little worried at first because it's a classic. It's got a little bit of humor in it, but God, was it fun. And I think, if I might say so myself, we had a great deal of fun on stage.
I agree.
Yeah, it turned out great. To go on Thursday so that if you like it, you can go back and bring people on Tuesday. Can I tease? There's a joke in there that I had to beg Kevin to say because the other two of you didn't want to say it live on stage in front of friends and family.
It is the most. It is the most.
It was a very good joke. Don't get me wrong.
It is the most adult of all of the RiffTrax live shows we've done. So,
well, it's a very adult movie. It's violent.
Yeah,
well,
sort of surprised.
When I saw Conor put that in the script up, he's like, "I'll be surprised if this makes it to the stage," and it did.
It made it.
Yeah.
So don't bring your kids.
No, it's an adult movie. I do the whole riff without pants. Sorry.
Surprising that didn't come up yet. That was why it was my favorite. Yeah.
I'm going to go see it in the theater myself,
guys.
actually. So I'm going to be sitting there with a scorecard, seeing whose jokes get the most laughs. I'm going to come in with a bar graph next week. But yeah, no, go to the theater. It's a fun time. You'll be there with fellow fans. You might, meet or not meet people if you don't want to. But there's a real energy to being in a room full of people where you all like the same thing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Go check it out.
Tell us what you think later on.
And following our Q&A, what are we looking forward to? Peter told us what it was, and now I forget.
We're
Max
premiering a new
Havoc.
stream. Yeah, the debut
Max
on
Havoc,
Twitch.
The Curse of the Dragon.
That's the first
Adventures
one,
in
right?
Guam.
Yeah, he's in
There's
Guam.
one set in Guam and one set where?
Seattle.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same.
It's where you follow up.
True.
But this is the Guam one. Guam one is very cool. It's one of
This is the Guam one, yes.
Yeah, has David
boss of
Carradine in
RiffTrax
it. Always good.
That's right.
And this is like premiering on the Twitch channel.
As soon as we
right
log
after
off,
we
I think.
finish.
Oh, right after us. Oh,
That's
enjoy,
right.
guys.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for showing up. We really appreciate it. We're very grateful to our fans over the years. You're still with us, and we couldn't be more grateful.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Thank
and
you.
bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Thanks,
Good
everyone.
night.